The date is October 7th, 1916. John Heisman orchestrates his greatest revenge on Cumberland College. See, Cumberland had closed its football program the year before, and to kind of calm down the student body, George E. Allen, who was looked upon favorably by both students and the faculty and staff alike, asked him to kind of keep morale up because they knew there'd be some blowback of them not keeping a football team around. And so George decides to go to Nashville, just outside of Lebanon, Tennessee, about an hour down the road, and hires a bunch of ringers to play in Cumberland's opening baseball game in 1916. They didn't really care who the opponent was. They just wanted to have a big win. That win being against John Heisman's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and a 22-0 beatdown. Before Heisman left the field, he already knew something was up and that Cumberland, had not used all collegiate players, and he said he would have his revenge. So George Allen, who was the team manager of the football team, he was tasked with letting the other schools know on their schedule for 1916, hey, we're not having a football team. He apparently forgets to send Georgia Tech a letter. And so John Heisman says, you guys are going to show up and play that game, or you're going to pay us $3,000, which around today's dollars is closer to $100,000, and Cumberland would have probably had to have shuddered if they'd have been forced to pay that $3,000. So George gets a bunch of guys together. They scrum up about 15, 16 guys to go down to Atlanta and play this game against Georgia Tech, and John Heisman gets his revenge. And these 222 points are scored in 55 minutes of game. They score 32 touchdowns. It's a bunch of records that'll never be broken, like 30 extra points made by a single guy. The kicker for Georgia Tech went 30 for 32 in the contest. And the newspapers of the time didn't really care about Cumberland's story that they didn't even have a football team. Back then, national champions were kind of determined on, well, how bad could you beat opponents? How many points could you put up? And so that was what Georgia Tech and John Heisman was looking for. He was looking to show that Southeast football was just as good as the Ivy League powers of the Northeast, of the Pittsburghs. The sport at the time was kind of a Northeast team, and while I think John Heisman maybe got a little too vengeful in 1916, the team didn't play up to snuff the rest of the year. I believe they finished 8-0-1 in 1916, but they put it all together in 1917. It was helped that a bunch of teams didn't play during 1917 because the U.S. had more fully entered World War I. But Georgia Tech, nonetheless, they go 9-0. They pummel every team on their schedule, and they are named the national champions. And it was kind of that breakthrough for national football writers to see that, hey, the Southeast could play a pretty good brand of football as well. But we here now have a chance to get Cumberland some revenge back. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a long road here, but we have taken George Allen has left us a hefty fund after his passing about 60 years ago and said, hey, if Cumberland ever gets a Division I football team again, I will spend the money to build the program. And so we have resurrected a legendary coach, a foil to John Heisman. I figured this would probably be the best way to try to get that revenge. And so our coach, none other than the legend Pop Warner. That's right, we have resurrected his body, even though he's been dead for about 70 years now up to this point. I think it's like 72 years, something like that. Now, our Cumberland Bulldogs, we are not good to start things off. Also, I went back to the Bulldogs. Cumberland has played football at the NAIA level since 1990, but we aren't going with the Phoenix nickname that they have adopted here in the last few years. I feel like that's hiding away from their legacy. No, that is not what we are doing here. As you can see, Jalen McDonald, our redshirt senior center, is our best player at a whopping 74 overall. We've got Keontae Tyson, who may keep us from being shut out every single game here in this first season. But we are running the Army playbook. We're going to go with Xavier Jarvis. Only a sophomore. He's got 82 speed. maybe we can make him into something here. But that's going to be the problem, too, is a lot of our guys have deal breakers already, too. We've got Tyler Olson here as our backup just in case. Running backs-wise, we can hope that Cameron Teague doesn't leave right away because our championship contender is not going to jump anywhere. Maybe Tavion Grant, but again, championship contender, he may be leaving as well. So cupboard's pretty bare here. 56 overalls across the board. Cumberland also, their colors are not actually blue and gold like I've made here. I just found a generic C, went with it, so that's what we're going with. Our first schedule, we're playing as an independent, and we have done ourselves no favors here. Of course, we've got to open up with Georgia Tech here. Then we'll host in-state school Memphis, and then Tulane, who Cumberland back in the day played quite often. Pittsburgh, of course, the championship squad back in the day, led by Pop Warner himself, so that's why we threw Pitt on the schedule. Pittsburgh ended Georgia Tech's winning streak after they were the national champions in 1917. In 1918, Georgia Tech goes up to Pittsburgh, gets absolutely whooped, and that was how the winning streak ended, and it never got any better for John Heisman at Georgia Tech. We'll take on South Carolina. They were a prominent team back in the day, as was Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt and Cumberland played quite a bit, so they are one of our 5 rivals. Georgia Tech is one of our 5 rivals. Georgia is one of our rivals as well. We've thrown in Rice because that is where John Heisman finished his collegiate career, and of course, being from Lebanon, Tennessee, that Cumberland is, we have to have Tennessee on our schedule as rivals, and Alabama are rivals as well. Cumberland actually has wins in their history against the Crimson Tide, and then we're probably going to be 0-11. Maybe we can get Middle Tennessee State. We will throw in an FCS program to try to get us a win and maybe get a few recruits committed. I do have the pre-order thing on for 110 credits for Pop Warner, but I'm putting in a sanctioned rule. I got to get to level 10 with him before I can spend any of those points. We're playing on default Heisman here. Default Heisman, 8-minute quarters. I am not going to play the full games here in this first season. There is no reason to. Everything else is the standard for sliders, all of that. 55% chance for players to leave if they are not happy. As many as 20 players can leave. So we basically have a brand new roster that we're trying to bring in, and it's a wide net that we're throwing right now. We've only got 250 hours a week to spend, so we're just hoping that some of these guys go overlooked and that no other schools have any interest. I don't know if this class is going to matter all that much either. We're just trying to get a baseline of players to build around here for the next few years. And once we play a year in the independents, we'll move to the Sun Belt Conference, and the ideal is to eventually get to the SEC, as Cumberland was an original member of the Southern Conference, which was kind of a prelude. It was more like the whole southeast region. There was like 40-something teams in the league back in the day. That's just how it worked in the system. But a lot of the teams you'd expect when you talk about the SEC and its original members. So we will try to get Cumberland to the SEC, but first thing is first, we have to face our fear. It can't get any worse than 222-0, right? So we're going to Georgia Tech, and we will take on the Rambling Wreck. As you can see, Army, our playbook, will go with a 4-3 multiple defense. I just like running it on this game. Georgia Tech, not a big fan of their homes they went with this past year, if I'm going to be honest. I like the gold pants with them. We've got a special uniform here, the Down with Heisman uniforms that we're going to rock here in our first game back. So here we go. We're going to Grant Field to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Cumberland football back at the Division I level. And it's going to be a downpour here at Bobby Dodge Stadium. A rivalry game, 109 years in the making. The Rambling Wreck is on the field, and Georgia Tech ready to open up the 2025 campaign against the returning program of the Cumberland Bulldogs. Thanks for joining us here on the Steve Nash's Cousin Radio Network. Sean Nash here with you. as the Bulldogs take the field at the Division I level for the first time in more than 70 years. And taking on the program that embarrassed them back in 1916 with a 222-0 final. John Heisman's masterpiece. It's a hot, muggy one here with all the rain. And here we go. Cumberland football back. And they'll start things off with a touchback. The Bulldogs rocking the all-black uniforms tonight here with the gold lettering and numbering and the light blue trim. Georgia Tech in their white jerseys, the white helmets, the interlock GT on each side of the helmet, and the gold pants here this evening. So 8 minutes on the clock to start. And it's loud here at Bobby Dodd. Jarvis under center, flex bone formation. Wide back each side. Man in motion from the right. It's an option. Pitch out to the left. Teague maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but nothing doing. When these two teams met up in 1916, George Allen, who was the student manager as the fullback, actually got a 3-yard gain. One of 3 positive plays on that afternoon that the Bulldogs managed. They'll go in the shotgun here. Trips out to the right. 4 receiver set. Jarvis takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looking downfield. Still looking, nothing there, tucks it, and gets back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd and 11. Opening drive, not very promising here. Jarvis comes out in the pistol formation, up back to his left, tailback behind him, tight end left side, 1 receiver each side of the formation. Jarvis fakes the handoff, under pressure right away, and he's sacked all the way back at the 10-yard line. So that certainly looked like 1916. And Yerke is back to punt for Cumberland. Not a very deep kick here out to the left numbers, but it bounces past the return man and into Georgia Tech territory. The Yellow Jackets will have their first possession from their own 39-yard line. Haynes King hoping for a big year. Trying to close out his collegiate career. Showing the next level that he's ready to step up. They'll start off in the shotgun formation. 3 receivers to the left. Play action out of the gate. Throw over the middle, it's caught. Oh, and a juke up the middle, down to the 20, 15, 10, 5, and down at the 1-yard line. 60-yard pass play. Haynes King able to deliver, and the receiver makes the move. And a perfect start here for Georgia Tech. Well, in that 1916 game, they scored 32 touchdowns. It takes 2 plays here, and they're in. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. They scored a touchdown every minute, 43 seconds. And right now, they are even better than that pace. Haynes takes it in from a yard out. Haynes King hands it off to Haynes, and it's 6-0 Georgia Tech. Extra point up and good, and we have our first launch on the field. And the kicker, he's hurt. He's down. So that'll bring the kickoff all the way up to the 50-yard line. And booted all the way out of the end zone, and Cumberland will start once again at their own 25-yard line. Open for a better second drive here. Jarvis takes a snap. Quarterback keeper, late pitch here. Gets it out to Teague. Teague with space across the 35-40 and out of bounds. And a first down here for Cumberland. All right, back after that technical difficulty. Jarvis, flex bone formation, wide back to his right. Takes the handoff, gets absolutely drilled, ball up in the air, and Georgia Tech has it. And an early turnover here. And it is not looking good for Cumberland so far. King hands off to Haynes on the stretch play. He's to the outside, inside the 20, inside the 10, and down to the 9-yard line. Jamal Haynes, 25 yards on that one. So far, 2 minutes in, this is looking like 1916. Maybe it wasn't a great idea to try to bring Cumberland back. But a stop here in the backfield, and finally a positive play for the Bulldogs defense. It is 2nd and goal from the 12-yard line. Shotgun formation for King. Quick throw on the screen, and they'll get half of what they need, down near the 6. And it's 3rd down, and Cumberland trying to force a field goal attempt. Split backs out of the shotgun, man in motion. It is the motion man, brings it in on the swing, and Haynes this time with the receiving touchdown. And it's 13-0 Georgia Tech. Extra point up and good. All Yellow Jackets here in the opening 3 minutes. Young will bring it in, left side hash marks. He decides to return it up across the 15, doesn't even make it to the 20. 17-yard line, and that's where Cumberland will start their 3rd drive. Can they get things going? They'll start the pistol formation. Up back to quarterback's right, tight end on the right side of the line, 1 receiver each side. Jarvis, it's a triple option. Quarterback keeper, late pitch. Gregory, the fullback, has to wait, but able to get positive yards up across the 20 to the 22. Cumberland on the last drive at least got a 1st down, but then turned it right over to Georgia Tech. Never even got a 1st down in 1916 against the Yellow Jackets. Pistol formation again, up back to quarterback's right, tight end left side. 1 receiver each side of the formation. Another triple option, and Teague nowhere to go. Blasted back to the 20, it'll be 3rd and medium. Bulldogs just need something positive to go their way offensively. Have a little sustainability here on this 2nd drive. 3rd drive, rather. Pistol snap. Jarvis back to pass. Tight end open. And Gunderson with a nice catch up across the 35-yard line. Gain of 17, 1st down Bulldogs.
Gain of 17 on the play. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
Halfway through the opening quarter, Cumberland down 2 scores early. Pistol formation, up back, left side of the line. 3 receivers, 2 out to the right. Hand off to Gregory, the fullback. Another positive gain for him up to the 39. Gain of a yard. Bulldogs in between the hash marks, just shy of their own 40. 1 receiver each side. Coach Warner sticking with the pistol formation. Teague trying to slip through on the left side stretch play. No gain. And it's another 3rd and long. Cumberland has to make it across their own 45 up to their 48-yard line to move the chains. Ball on the left hash mark. Shotgun for Jarvis. 2 receivers each side. Running back to his left. Back to pass. Throws over the middle. It's caught, and Tyson just short. And the punting team not coming off the sideline yet for Coach Pop Warner, but Georgia Tech wants to take a timeout. Talk things over. Indeed, Cumberland will line up to go for it. Up back, tight end, tucked in behind the right guard. It's Teague. From the right hash mark, the handoff, and Teague, I think he got it, but he's slow to get up. I believe he did get the first down. He did. So Cumberland keeps the drive alive. Doesn't have to get the football back to Georgia Tech just yet. Trying to get across midfield for the first time this evening. Handoff out of the pistol. Tyson with a good gain up the middle. And indeed into Georgia Tech territory for the first time in 109 years. Second and 4, ball on the right hash mark from the Georgia Tech 47. Jarvis, wing back to his right, one receiver each side here in the flex bone. Quarterback keeper, he's hit right away, tried to pitch it out, but they say he's down, and he loses a couple. Back in midfield, it's a 3rd and 7, have to get to the Georgia Tech 42. Flex bone, strong to the right. Jarvis, back to pass. Throws it, dangerous, intercepted. And the Yellow Jackets have a chance for a return. They're dropped at their own 45, but a second turnover forced in as many drives. And the young sophomore quarterback struggling out there. Georgia Tech pummeling Cumberland here. King under pressure, he's brought down. Cumberland able to get the sack all the way back to the 41. Second negative play for Georgia Tech here in the early going. Few positives for Cumberland. King in the shotgun, one receiver to his left, running back to his left. The pass out to the flat right side. And they get about half of what they need again. And now the linebacker, Chase Freeman, is down for Cumberland. Not a very deep roster this season. Can't afford a lot of injuries. Third and 7. First down marker inside the 45 at the 44. King over the middle and caught again in the secondary, getting torn up for Cumberland. King 5 for 5 to start off the contest, over 100 yards already. Down to the 24-yard line of Cumberland, a handoff to Haynes, and he's dropped in the backfield for a yard loss. Cumberland at least standing strong defensively against the run game here in the early stages. But everything they throw up the middle is easy pickings, and another touchdown for Georgia Tech. 3 scores here in the opening quarter. And a second touchdown for Haynes King. Extra point good. It's 21-0 with 65 seconds left here in the opening quarter. And that drive taking less than a minute for Georgia Tech. Young calls for the fair catch in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 25. Well, Cumberland's been able to move the football here and there, but a couple of turnovers have killed any momentum here. Flex bone, wing back in each side of the formation. Jarvis brings the man from the left side in motion. It's a running back sweep, and Teague maybe reaches across the line of scrimmage for a yard, and that's it. Second and 9 from the right hash mark. Bulldogs at their own 26. Flex bone with the flanker out to the left side. 2 receivers out wide to the left. Flanker in motion, it's a pitch, and nothing doing for Gregory in the backfield, the fullback. As soon as he caught the ball, he's hit. It'll be another 3rd and long for Cumberland. Can't afford to keep putting themselves in these situations. Back at their own 21, first down marker at the 35. Coach Warner looking on from the sideline. Jarvis Shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side. Drops back to pass. Dumps it over the middle, won't even be close. Hardy brings it in, but the first quarter will end with a 4th and 11 for Cumberland. So the experiment to bring the Bulldogs back not going so well here through their opening quarter. Georgia Tech is absolutely dominated. They've had the ball for just over 2 minutes. It's 21-0 Georgia Tech, and they'll get the ball back to start the second quarter. Yorkie from the right hash mark. Brought in at the 40. Return man breaks the tackle at the 45 and dropped at midfield. A good field position again for Georgia Tech. Haynes King already with 2 touchdown passes. The senior lines up with the pistol formation. 2 tight ends to the right side, play action. Just throwing it all over the yard at will here. A 222-0 blowout in 1916. Georgia Tech did not attempt a single pass. They never had to. Well, they're just doing it for fun here this afternoon. The touch pass, and there's space again. Down inside the 20. Eric Rivers technically gets a reception for that. From the red zone, here are the Bulldogs. Pistol formation, slot man in motion right to left. They fake it to him, give it to Haynes. He spins in the hole, and a good run down inside the 10. And they'll give him the full 10 for the first down. And this, folks, is why we are not going to play a lot of this first season, because this team is just incapable of making any stops. Hand off to Haynes again. Gets a couple out to the left side. From the 7-yard line, Georgia Tech already going with a goal line formation. Power I, extra tight end off to the right side. King barks out the orders. It is a handoff. And not much gain there. It's 3rd down. So a chance for Cumberland to at least force a field goal attempt here and keep Georgia Tech out of the end zone. Haynes goes in motion, left to right out of the backfield. Empty set now here for King. Gives it on the screen, and Haynes tackled back at the 10. And indeed, Cumberland will force the field goal attempt here. A 27-yarder from the right hash mark, no trouble, and it's 24-0, Georgia Tech. Cumberland Bulldogs on the side of their helmets, the 222s lined in chrome, the stark reminder of their uphill battle they've got to face here in this rebuild. And it's been evident here in this opening quarter of play, 24-0. Opening half of play. Minute 20 gone here in the second quarter. Wishbone strung out to the right for Jarvis. He drops back to pass. First down, dumps it over the middle to Page. And Cumberland, with those little dump-offs, at least finding some success through the air. And it's a gain of 6. Flexbone with a flanker to the left side. Tight end left side of the line. 1 receiver each side of the formation for Jarvis. And Jarvis keeps it right up the middle himself and close to the first down. Not sure if that was the initial play design. Looked a little helter-skelter, but it works. Well, initially, Page was left unguarded out to the right side. Finally, Georgia Tech gets a player over there. But Jarvis will keep it, and he's got the first down. Brought down at the 30-yard line.
First down for the offense.
So run-heavy style here for Cumberland, running the flexbone formation. Flanker left side motion. Play action, back to pass. Jarvis flushed. has to just throw it away, and he does out to the left side. He gets drilled. But it'll be a 2nd and 10, and Cumberland lifts to the next down. Both teams with a player down on that play. Kalen Franklin, the right tackle, slow to get up. Second and 10 from their own 30-yard line. Ball in between the hash marks. Pistol formation, full house here. A running back to all 3 sides of Jarvis. He fakes the handoff, roll out. Tosses it forward to Gregory, who's pushed forward for a gain of a couple. That'll be another 3rd and long. Cumberland comes out in the shotgun formation. Jarvis with a running back to his left, 3 receivers to the left side. Page by himself out to the right. The snap, drop back, under pressure right away, dropped all the way back at the 20-yard line. It'll be another punt for the Cumberland Bulldogs. Yorkie, another punt here. This one gets past the return man. It's going to roll all the way down to the 22-yard line. The best punt for Cumberland, best play of the day, you could argue, here in this opening half of football. King and the Yellow Jackets start at their own 22, right hash mark. Handoff out of the pistol formation. Big hole out to the right side. Haynes across the 50 and finally pushed out of bounds. But a gain of nearly 30 yards. And he's well on his way to the century mark. Ball stays on the right hash mark. They said he was out right at the 50-yard line. Hand off to Haynes again, same play. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he gains 11 down to the Cumberland 39-yard line. Another 1st and 10 for Georgia Tech. They come out in the shotgun. 2 receivers to the left, 3 receiver set. A 3rd handoff in a row to Haynes. Continues to dance through the Cumberland defense, and he's gone. A 38-yard scamper. And it's all Georgia Tech here against the Cumberland Bulldogs. 30-0 with 3.5 minutes to play. For Cumberland, the positive, you can at least say they've slowed up the scoring pace of Georgia Tech here. But shallow moral victories here, down 31-0. Pistol formation, trips out to the right, 4 receiver set. Jarvis hit in the backfield. Page somehow breaks a tackle, but still dropped for a 3-yard loss. Back at the 19-yard line. It has been a rough go for Cumberland. Some positive offense, but still nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. Pistol formation, flanker to the left side. 3 receiver set, 2 out to the right for Jarvis. Takes the handoff, triple option, pitch to Tyson, and Tyson with a good gain out to the 25. Will bring up a 3rd and manageable. Pistol formation, up back is Gregory to quarterback's left, tight end on the left side of the line. 1 receiver each side for Jarvis. He takes the snap, play action, drop back, throws on the run, and it's tipped away, trying to get it to Page. And it looks like Cumberland will have to punt the football again. Oh, the punt is blocked. The Bulldogs scoop it up at their own 2-yard line. And Georgia Tech will have it down. They're going to say it's at the 1. And the Yellow Jackets have a chance to make it 38-0 in a single play. They won't do it here. The Bulldogs say try again. Jamal Haynes, 2 touchdowns, already over 100 yards rushing here this evening. Putting on a show for Georgia Tech in their season opener. Last year it was the surprise win over Florida State. Or did that happen in 2025? I can't remember. Well, King tries to keep it here and nothing doing. He's pushed back, and Cumberland trying to force a second field goal attempt as we've reached the 2-minute warning mercifully here in this season opener. Cumberland down 31-0. A throw to the outside, that won't work. It'll be a 4th down from the 4. Georgia Tech will have to settle for a second field goal here in this opening half. But it's good for the left hash mark, that tough angle. 34-0, Georgia Tech. Bell calls for the fair catch at his own 1. They'll bring it out to the 25. Well, the positives for Cumberland is that last time they played Georgia Tech, it was 126-0 at halftime. Not quite as bad, as Jarvis starts with trips out to the right. 4 receiver shotgun set, takes the snap, drops back, throws it to the running back, and Hardy will gain about 8 up to the 33. The Bulldogs hurrying up to the line. They'll keep the same formation, trips out to the right. Jarvis takes the snap, option out to the left. Late pitch here to Hardy, and Hardy has the first down out near the 40. 94 seconds left here in the opening half. Georgia Tech does receive the second half kickoff. Even a field goal here for the Bulldogs. As Jarvis takes the snap, throws to Page, makes the catch in traffic. Out across midfield. But I don't know what the range is for this field goal kicker. They may have to get awfully close to even have a chance. Down to 80 seconds. Tight end lined up behind the left tackle here in the formation. Stack out to the right. Jarvis takes the snap, has to pitch it right away. It's a fumble scooped up by Tyson all the way back at the Bulldogs 40-yard line, and a loss of 13. And Cumberland will spend their second timeout. Georgia Tech a couple plays away from pitching the first half shutout and maybe getting the football back one more time. Jarvis in the shotgun, 4 receivers, 2 each side, running back to his right in the backfield. The snap, drops back, dumps it off to the left side. It's Strickland with a catch. The wingbacker able to gain 11. Bulldogs run up to the line again. Tyson moves to the left side of the backfield. 2 receivers keep to each side. Jarvis, the snap. Throws it down the right side, intercepted for the second time, and out of bounds. And Georgia Tech will get the football back one more time and see if they can get up into the 40s here in this opening half. Opens up over the middle for King. Finds Haynes, and King is yet to miss a pass here in this opening half. 11 for 11, nearly 200 yards. And already a couple of touchdowns. Hands it off this time to Haynes, and that's how the first half ends. It's been all Georgia Tech. Cumberland, a long way to go here in this rebuild. Haynes already with 111 yards rushing. But as we said, it's not 126-0. And we're still a far cry from 222-0. Cumberland in that 1916 game, negative 43 yards rushing. So they had negative 33 total yards of offense is, I believe, what they've tracked. think we're ahead of that. Those couple of fumbles haven't helped. But, oh, it's an interception in all that traffic. And the Bulldogs have a break here. Haynes on the tip drill was able to grab it. And Haynes King a little cocky here maybe to start the second half after the dominant opening frames. And Hunter Haynes able to get in there for the interception. For the YouTube front page maybe. The first turnover forced by Cumberland here in this rebuild. Get a better look at our 222 uniforms. The 222 kind of disappears on the replay. Anyway. All right, we got a score here. Ooh, I like that look. Fullback zone toss. I feel it. Jarvis in the flex bone. Everybody packed in. Pitch out to Gregory to the right. Gregory trying to get to the edge. He does and reaches across the 25 down to the 24. It's been tough sledding for Gregory. 5 carries in just a single yard. Cumberland sticks with the stack formation. Tight end flanker each side. Right back in motion. It's a pitch to Tyson. Tyson trying to get out to the edge, but nothing doing. Georgia Tech just too fast on the edges. Christian Pritchett, the strong safety with a tackle there. And it's 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs. Not sure their field goal kicker can make it from here. It'd be a 42-yarder. Jarvis rolls out. He'll keep it. He goes, and he maybe gets a yard. And Blake Sutton is down with an injury, the lineman. Adding injury to insult here, but the Bulldogs will trot out the field goal unit. They've got the wind at their back. Can they get on the board? The field goal is up. It's good. There's no shutout here today. No 222-0. Cumberland has scored. And there will not be a shutout here today on Grant Field.
Number 39.
Well, the rain continues to pour, and Cumberland will kick off for the second time. And Wells, with a good kick all the way into the end zone, forces the touchback. Can Haynes King put that mistake behind him to start the second half? Threw it right into the back of his own line, and it was picked off. Well, this time they'll stick with the ground game, and Haynes with a 5-yard carry out to the left side. Quarterback keeper here on the read option, and King. Got to be careful here. Doesn't want to take too many shots in a blowout like this. Issue not really in doubt. And it's a 3rd and 4. Cumberland with a little momentum, trying to force their first punt of the afternoon. King in the shotgun, 2 tight ends to the left, running back to his left as well. The 2 receivers out to the right side. Back to pass, good pocket here. Sets back, throw, but it's tipped away. And indeed, Cumberland will force the punt. Something Georgia Tech did not have to do 109 years ago. Bell brings it in at the 20, up the right numbers. Out near the 35. And Cumberland has a chance to cut into the deficit. Down 34-3, 6:23 to play. They start the drive from their own 34-yard line, right hash mark. Flexbone formation. Wing back out to the left side. Tight end, 2 receivers out to the left. Hand off to Gregory, and he's stuck in the middle and nothing doing. Gregory may ask next time that he's involved in the play, please don't even try to hand it off to me. Flexbone with the flanker out to the right side. Tight end, left side of the formation. One receiver at each side for Jarvis. Gregory up the middle again. Gets across the 35 to the 36. And it's third down. Broadcaster's note here, I'm not a fan of the switch for the quarterback keeper, but change it back. Change it back to the old ways. My old mind can't handle the change. Jarvis in the shotgun, trips out to the right. Takes the snap. Throws it over the middle to his running back. Hardy breaks the tackle and close to a first down. Out near the 45. Jarvis comes out in the goal line formation. Now the QB sneak, he's got it. Across the 45. Still on their side of the 50. Fresh set of downs for Cumberland. Moving right to left on your radio dial here in this second half. Under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Jarvis out of the shotgun again. Option play, has to pitch it right away, and Hardy swallowed up in the backfield. Loss of a couple. Bulldogs down by 31, sticking to the shotgun here. 4 receivers, 2 to each side. Strickland, the right side slot man, in motion. Joins Jarvis in the backfield. It's a quarterback keeper. Strickland gets the pitch on the triple option and out near midfield. Canes 5. These 3rd and 7s or so have been where Cumberland's been living so far in this one. Jarvis in the shotgun. 2 tight ends to the left, 2 receivers out to the right. The snap. Drops back. Rolls out. Throws on the run, hit as he throws. It's incomplete, 4th down, and the Bulldogs look like they'll keep the offense out there. I mean, they're down 31 halfway through the third quarter. Ball's at midfield, so what's punting gonna do? Jarvis with trips out to the right, the snap. Forced to roll out again, and he's drilled. Well, this gave away about a dozen free yards. And Georgia Tech will have the football at the Cumberland 37. Split backs for King. Hands it off to his right running back. It's Haynes. Jukes out to the left sideline. And inside the 30, pushed out of bounds. Gain of 8. Going to be spending a lot of skill points on toughness. Got a lot of guys going down with injury here early. Hand off to Haynes, and I just whiffed there. First down inside the 25, down to the 22. Jamal Haynes continues to add on to a great opening day here to kick off the 2025 season. Over 130 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He's got a receiving touchdown as well. King, the quarterback keeper, shows the spin move. Knocked down inside the 15. Ball on the right hash mark, 2nd and 2. Handoff, sweep out to the right side. Haynes turns the corner, but steps out of bounds inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Shotgun formation for King. Brings the slot man in motion from the left. Hand off to Haynes, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Gain of 1 down to the 7-yard line. If that, maybe a half a yard. Goal line formation, extra tight end to the left for King. Calls out the play. Hand off to Haynes, and up the middle. No go again. Cumberland's had some okay red zone defense. They forced a couple of field goals. Can they force a third? King in the shotgun, tight end each side, 1 receiver to each side. Steps up in the pocket, throw out to the left, and it's short of the end zone. Tight end brought it in, and they'll send out the field goal unit, and Aiden Burr will try another one here on the tough angle. Shorter than an extra point. Only a 19-yarder, and no problem. So Georgia Tech gets that field goal back. And it's 37-3 here on this rainy Saturday evening to kick off the college football season. This bell gets popped at the 20-yard line. Cumberland's still going with Jarvis out there, but he's gotten banged up. How much longer will they let him go before they send some of the backup guys to see if they can find some more success? George, nothing doing up the middle, maybe a half a yard. Tyson in motion for the right side here, takes the handoff, gets a block to the edge, turns upfield, gets a couple. 3rd and 7. First down marker just shy of the 30-yard line, and here is Olsen, now in at quarterback. He throws it, and just short, Strickland down a yard shy of the first down. But Cumberland from their own 28 is going to go for it here. Olsen in the shotgun. Pitch out, and they get the yard they need and more. Some good shifty running there by Hardy. Gets it out to the 36-yard line. Quarterback keeper on the read option, and Olsen. Wrong choice. Drilled in the backfield. Loss of 4. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 14 for Cumberland. They've at least avoided the shutout. Still hasn't been pretty. It's an option out to the left. Teague has to make a move in the backfield just to avoid losing yards. But another offensive lineman going down for Cumberland. They have gotten beat up physically here in this one. The schedule doesn't get any easier. It's a 3rd and forever. 3rd and 13. Half minute to go here in the third quarter. Out of the pistol, Olsen, roll out. Dumps it, and Teague is hit as soon as it reaches his hands. And this time, Cumberland will have to punt the football. Yorkie, he can make a case for team MVP today. Good boot here inside the 30, bounces inside the 20, and it sits at the 16-yard line. And that's where Georgia Tech will take over with just 17 seconds left here in the third. They're in command, 37-3. It's a blowout here on the Steve Nash's Cousin Radio Network. Georgia Tech starts in the shotgun on their own left side hash mark. 2 receivers each side, running back to King's right. Haynes, another handoff. And another near 10-yard gain. Could be the last play, or Georgia Tech could run up the line and run one more. Before we head to the fourth, they line up with the pistol. King, handoff to Haynes again. Off the right side, big hole. 2 runs, more than 10 yards on each. Dragging Bulldogs with him across the 40. And Georgia Tech on their way to a 1-0 start. They lead by 34. Our average yards per play has gone down. We were at 1.9. It has not been great. Georgia Tech already putting the backups in, and they're running right over the Bulldogs as well. Inside the 35. And a quick 30-yard pop there to Dean Patterson. From the Cumberland 33, running back trips over his quarterback as he takes the handoff and still able to dance for a gain of 9 down to the 25. Malachi Hosley trying to get his stats here on opening week. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers each side. Handoff and upended. Hosley, though, reaches across and gets the first down. Yellow Jackets just outside the red zone. Left hash mark from the Cumberland 23-yard line. They stick with the 2 receivers each side. 4 receivers set. Read option, quarterback, keeper up the middle. And a gain of 6. Second and 4. Another quarterback keeper. This time it's blown up. It is a 3rd and 8. Cumberland trying to force another field goal attempt. First down marker at the 13-yard line for the left hash mark. Back to pass, the throw over the middle inside the 5. And Georgia Tech down to the 2-yard line. Aaron Philo able to keep the near perfection going. Haynes King, I think, only missed 1 pass before being subbed down here to start the 4th quarter. Georgia Tech to go up by 6 touchdowns. They hand off, and they won't do it on this play. Octavius Terrell able to get in there, the senior for Cumberland. And their transition from NAIA right back to the Division I level. Let's look like it here this afternoon. But again, the defense inside the 10-yard line has been pretty good. The further away Georgia Tech's been from the end zone, the better. So 3rd and goal here from the 7-yard line, left hash mark. A drop back. Philo throws into the end zone, caught, touchdown. And Georgia Tech adds another 6. Extra point makes it 44-3. And we're down to the final 6 minutes to go. Bell calls for a fair catch at the goal line. They'll bring it out to the 25. Can Cumberland muster a drive here and actually get on the board without the assist of a Georgia Tech mistake? Teague, the pitch here. He's got the left sideline. 50, 45, and shoved out of bounds just shy of the 40. The best play all day for Cumberland. A 33-yard run up the left side for Cameron Teague. And Cumberland is down to the Georgia Tech 42-yard line. Flexbone, flanker to the left side. Tight end to the right, hand off to Gregory. Powers up the middle for a couple down to the 40. They'll stick with the flexbone. Flanker to the left, 2 receivers to the left as well. Flanker in motion. Olsen drops back, throws it on the swing to Teague, brings it in at the 40 and able to get a handful forward. Make it a 3rd and short. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. 3rd time in a row, they'll go with this formation. Flexbone, flanker to the left, 2 receivers to the left side. Another drop back for Olsen. Throw to the tight end, and just shy of the marker, it's caught. Bulldogs obviously going for this here at the Georgia Tech 33-yard line. Olsen calls out the play. Goal line formation. Gregory up the middle, his best run of the day. He's inside the 25 as Gunderson is now down. We've seen a lot of Cumberland Bulldogs helped off the turf this afternoon. Olsen lines up with a shotgun from the Georgia Tech 23-yard line. Olsen rolls out. He'll just fire it away into the crowd. Second and 10. Olsen takes the snap out of the shotgun. Option out to the left. Gives it to Tyson. Tyson just shy of the 20. As now Olsen comes up, shaking up on that one. Now they'll have to bring out another quarterback. So they'll go with DePaul now, the third quarterback on the roster. Yeah, might as well. Jarvis is hurt. DePaul play action. Flag down here right away. And it looks like it's going against Cumberland. A holding to try to protect the quarterback, and he still got drilled. It will be 4th down, and Cumberland will try their second field goal. They're into the win this time. The kick online, and it's good. So Cumberland, a second field goal. Likely won't get a touchdown here today, but infinitely better than the last time they played Georgia Tech. So that's at least a positive. The return and not much doing there. The up end at the 16-yard line, and Georgia Tech, what could be their final drive on their way to a win. Philo in the shotgun. 3 receivers, 2 to his left. Hand off on the read option. Running back Mosley gets popped in the middle, gains a couple. Mosley, excuse me, not Mosley. Georgia Tech using the full breadth of the play clock. The shotguns drop, and the drop pass. Wide receivers cut across each other. Unable to bring it in. Drop back here on 3rd down. They set up the screen. Blocker. Oh, they got around the blocker there, but couldn't make the tackle. And it's a 1st down for Georgia Tech to continue to work the clock here. Down to 3 minutes to go. Another handoff and a good stop on the outside. But Deshaun Weeks, the defensive lineman, is now asking for some assistance from the sideline. 3 minutes exactly on the clock here. 44-6, Georgia Tech. Cumberland Bulldogs have a long way to go. The pressure here, and Philo sacked. Cumberland forces a 3rd and long here. It's a 3rd and 16. Have to get out near the 40-yard line. Philo, end of the play clock, gets the snap off. He's under pressure again, and Cumberland will get the sack, and they'll get the football one more time. So one more chance to try to score a touchdown here. Bell waits on it at the 30-yard line. From the 35, gain of 10 up the left numbers. .207 to play. And yeah, we do not need to have Olsen out there. We can go with DePaul. Tyson pitches off to Gregory. Gregory cuts back. Falls forward for a yard. There's a downed Yellow Jacket, so that'll stop the clock just before the 2-minute warning. Free timeout for Cumberland because that's how that works. Really hope that's still in the new game coming out next month. Pistol formation, bunch out, trips to the right. The throw, and DePaul is bobbled around and no catch made. They say finally dropped it on the outside. And it is a 3rd and 9. I think DePaul is actually one of our slower running backs, so maybe we shouldn't have him in to run options, but yeah, whatever. We'll learn on the fly here. Oh, it works. Foreman with a 7-yard gain, and it's 4th down. And Cumberland obviously not going to punt here. They'll try to hold on to the football from the Georgia Tech 48-yard line. DePaul takes the snap. The dump over the middle, and they do have the 1st down. 90 seconds to go.
Picks up 3. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
DePaul, a handoff. Teague up the middle. Good gain inside the 40. They'll say he's down. At the 38-yard line of Georgia Tech. 70 seconds to play. DePaul, quarterback keeper, and he's hit hard back at the 40. Final minute of play. Ball in between the hash marks. 2 tight ends to the right. DePaul with 2 receivers to the right. Nobody picks up the tight end off the line. And Springer with a 1st down. Bulldogs run up to the line. They've got 2 timeouts left. They'll keep them here.
Gain of 8. 1st down for the offense.
DePaul hit again on the quarterback keeper on the option. He has struggled running the football here. Down to a half minute to go. Can Cumberland get into the end zone? DePaul back to pass. Running backs open. Teague will get those lost yards back for 3rd down. Football at the Georgia Tech 30-yard line. DePaul play action. They definitely bought that as everybody drops back into coverage. And Teague will have it 3 yards short. They'll try one more field goal at the buzzer. And it's good. So Cumberland with a 3rd field goal. They avoid the shutout, but that's about all the positive you can say from this one. So Georgia Tech comes away with a 44-9 victory. It looked ugly early. At least Cumberland was able to settle down a little bit. Doesn't hurt that Georgia Tech put the 2nd teamers in at the start of the 4th quarter. But it's not a record-setting loss for Cumberland this time, and we'll take it and move forward. Yeah, not great. Could have gone a little better. But at least some experience there for old Pop Warner. So Jamal Haynes, named player of the game, 164 yards on the ground. I think he ended up with 3 touchdowns total. Our stats, David DePaul, 30 yards passing. Jarvis had 75. Went 9 for 14. Hey, we had a good completion percentage at least. Rushing-wise, Cameron Teague, our junior running back, good to see he was the leader because hopefully we can convince him to stick around for a couple of years. Get Ty Hardy involved a little bit more. Scooter Page, wide receiver, could try to throw a few more to him. Gunderson got hurt there. And then Hardy showing up again. So yeah, Haynes with 2 touchdowns there, and then the 1 receiving touchdown. Then Seether and Patterson with the other 2. We let King throw for 179 yards, 12 for 14. It did have that interception off him, so could have been worse. And we'll move on to the next week. And for a lot of this first season, we'll play the moments in games and even just straight up simulate because there's no point. But hey, we did not deter our recruits. This is concerning. I hope it's not just the recruits we bring in, and that we're going to have a 35-man team for the next season. Kobe Garland somehow gets Independence Player of the Week. Not sure how that happened. Notre Dame must have not played. No, they did. Jeremiah Love. Oh, they beat Miami by 2. See, Notre Dame fans, if that had happened last year, you'd have gotten a chance at Indiana, maybe. All right, we're just going to play the... How do you set that up to... Oh, here we go. Play the moments. All righty. So we're taking on the Memphis Tigers. We'll have them go with their blues, and these are the hand-me-down uniforms because when Cumberland went to play Georgia Tech in 1916, they had sold all their football uniforms to recoup some money, and so they had to borrow uniforms from a local school, and they happened to be maroon. I think Cumberland's actual colors have always been crimson. I know that's what their Phoenix branding is right now, crimson and black, but again, this was the C logo that I found, and so that's the colors I went with for the uniforms. I guess I could show those off real quick. So here's our road options: gold top, white helmet with the Bulldog logo, and the white pants. I also just kind of wanted different colors to mix and match. Those are the down with the Heismans that we just wore, and then our traditional away with the chrome golds, and then our home uniforms. They're the same as the hand-me-downs, just the hand-me-downs all red, but the style of the uniform the same. So those are our uniform sets. And now we get to see George E. Allen Field for the first time, a.k.a. the Dirt Yard in Lebanon, Tennessee. Be ready to cover your eyes. This field is not the prettiest, I can assure you. Yes, the gold turf of Lebanon, Tennessee, and George Allen Field. Big first quarter drive. Are we actually moving the football? No, we're at our own 9-yard line. What do you mean? So the Bulldogs with their first possession. We must have gotten a stop right away, so that's good. Jarvis, the Bulldogs in the all-maroon uniforms. Gold lettering and numbering in the baby blue trim. And off to Gregory here on the first snap, and he gains a yard up to the 10-yard line. I really like to think that Pop Warner would love the pistol formation. So the pistol here as Tyson goes in motion and turns into split backs behind the quarterback. Jarvis option out. For some reason doesn't pitch to Teague and gets tripped up for a loss of a couple. I hit the button. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it was just right at that right time. Trips out to the right, shotgun set for Jarvis. One receiver to his left, running back is Tyson. The quarterback's right. Back to pass. The throw to Tyson, turns upfield. He's got a first down and more across the 20 and down at the 30-yard line. Bulldogs will stick with a shotgun. Trips out to the right again. Tyson, the quarterback's right. Another option play. Tyson gets the early pitch and dropped for a 3-yard loss.
Second down coming up.
Second and 13. Ball is moved to the right hash mark from the 26-yard line of Cumberland. Flanker to the left side. Hand off to Gregory. Gregory makes a nice move at the line. Shifts out to the right and forward up to the 36-yard line. And a gain of 10. Oop, ran over my controller cord. Third down for Cumberland. Have to get across their own 39 to the 40 to move the chains. Flanker to the right. Another flex bone formation for Jarvis. Flanker T goes in motion. Throw over the middle, caught for a first down. A good drive so far here for Cumberland. Started at their own 9-yard line, now at their own 46. Out of the flex bone, flanker left, another drop back. Throw to the tight end. And McLawler gets past the first defender and another first down into Tiger territory. Certainly, Memphis, watching the film last week, probably came in with a lot of confidence here against this Cumberland team. Don't want to be the first program to lose to these new age Bulldogs. Flex bone with a flanker each side. One receiver spread out wide each side for Jarvis. Takes the handoff to the left flanker, under pressure. Jarvis throws downfield, man open, caught down at the 10-yard line. Best pass play here between these opening 2 weeks. Cumberland going right down the field here against Memphis. And the Tigers on their heels from 9 to 9-yard line. Can they finish off the full 91? The pitch, Tyson inside the 5, towards the goal line, and down to the 1, and Cumberland inches away from their first touchdown.
It's now second and goal.
Goal line formation, Jarvis goes under center. The I formation handoff, and Gregory does not get to the goal line. It's a 3rd and goal.
It's now 3rd and goal.
Bulldogs now spread it out with a flex formation. One flanker each side, one receiver each side. Tyson in motion from the left. The late pitch. Tyson, he's in! Touchdown, Cumberland! And the Bulldogs have scored 91 yards. They take an early 7-0 lead. We go to late in the first quarter here. Memphis with a 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, trying to tie it up. The snap, play action, throw on the screen, and a couple yards gain here by the Tigers. Shotgun formation for Memphis. Bunch trips out to the left. One receiver to the right. Back to pass. Flushed out, rolled out to his left, and a big sack for Cumberland. Back to the 15-yard line. And that should take us to the second quarter. And Cumberland wins a quarter. They lead 7-0 here in their home opener. Lebanon, Tennessee. They have been waiting for this one. The opening of George Allen Stadium. The crowd's been loud so far. Cumberland up 7-0 here over Memphis. Third and goal from the 15-yard line as we start the second quarter. Lewis, empty set. 3 receivers to his right, 5 receivers set. Under pressure right away, hit as he throws. Bulldogs brought 6, only 5 blocking, and they'll force the field goal attempt. It's about a 32-yarder. And it hits the upright and no good, and Memphis is kept off the board. Let's see what they're going to do next. All right, we got to make another stop here at the 22-yard line. Memphis from their left hash mark have to get it down to the Bulldogs 11 to move the chains. Lewis can step up if he wants to. Nobody there for Cumberland. He's all the way down to the 5-yard line. Memphis with a chance to tie it up here late in the first half. Cumberland up 7-0. The handoff on the read option. Running back gains a yard, if that. It'll be second down. Sutton Smith, he has been bottled up so far. Lewis in the shotgun. 3 receivers, 2 to his left, running back to his left. Throws the swing route out to the left side, and the Bulldogs missed the tackle. Touchdown, Memphis. Should have been a stop in the backfield, but Busey is into the end zone. I refuse to believe it's pronounced the other way, so we're going with Marcello Busey. Breaks the tackle, and he's in. And we are tied at 7. And our defense is starting to struggle here. They're asking me a whole lot, but I gave up 44 points in the first game. I don't know if the game saw, but I'm not very good at this. Shotgun formation, ball at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for Memphis. Lewis takes the snap, throws it immediately over the middle. And Busey, who had the touchdown on the last drive, makes the catch, falls down at the 3. With under a minute to go here in the opening half. Pistol formation, read option, quarterback keeper. Lewis dives, he's in, and Memphis takes the lead. So Memphis has overcome the slow start, and they've scored 2 touchdowns unanswered. Brandon Lewis, a passing touchdown last drive. This time keeps it himself, dives, gets hit as he dives in, but still, ball breaks the plane. 14-7 on to the second half. We've got a 3rd and 5 from their 48-yard line. Trying to answer here with the opening drive of the second half. Jarvis from the midfield logo here, the dirt yard. 2 receivers to his left. Flex bone with a flanker each side. Flanker in the left in motion before the snap. Throw over the middle, and it's dropped. Receiver would have had a chance to make a move, but he's popped. And the Bulldogs have to give it away. Memphis trying to get in a field goal range here. It's a 3rd and 6 from the 39. Lewis tucks it. Nowhere to go, has to throw it away. And Cumberland will force the decision here for a field goal. And apparently it was a punt because we got the ball back. Offense just going nowhere. Down to 2 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Memphis trying to get some breathing room on the scoreboard from the left hash mark. 1st and 10. Another throw over the middle. Off to the right side, and Brendan Lewis has the Tigers with a 1st down and goal from the 5-yard line. Two tight ends to the right. Quarterback keeper to that side on the option. Bulldogs ready for it, and they make the stop. Another read option and another stop short. Field goal does help Memphis here, but touchdown and feel even better headed into the 4th quarter. Punch out to the right. They set up the screen play, and Cumberland doesn't let it by them. They force the field goal attempt. A 29-yarder, and it's off the upright, and a second miss for Memphis tonight, and Cumberland stays within a touchdown. Spedick clanks it off the iron for the 2nd time tonight. And we've got a 3rd down here, 5 minutes to go. We're at midfield. 3rd and 6. Ball on the right hash mark for Jarvis. Pistol formation, flankers to each side of the line, one receiver each side. Drops back. Oh no, why is that? Doesn't he have an icon? No, he was wide open, and Memphis scores. They score again. They have scored 24 unanswered, and we're in deep trouble. But hey, we hung around. McLawler in motion before the snap. Pistol here for Jarvis. Option out to the left. Pitch to Teague, out of bounds for a 6-yard gain. Bulldogs got to go quick. Clock stop with them going out of bounds. I think that was supposed to be a play action. It wasn't. And a dump off over the middle. Just shy of the first down. Trying to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. And we do not get the first down. So it'll go to the 2-minute warning.
Now, a 4th down.
Well, that's going to get us the first here. Pistol formation for Jarvis on the left hash mark. They have to get it across the 35. Option out to the right. Teague has the first down. Just shy of the 40. Now Cumberland will sprint to the line. 1:53 to go. They stick with the same formation out of the pistol. The drop back. Jarvis can roll out if he wants to. Throws on the run. McLawler makes the catch, breaks a tackle, and gains 8. Got hit hard there right at the end, but a nice play made by McLawler. And Jarvis hurries the troops up to the line for the left hash mark, out of the pistol. Play action. Has to throw it early, and Gregory makes the catch, but I think he lost yardage. And it's 3rd down. Down to 80 seconds to play. Throw it to the left side, and Freeman with a catch. And they move the chains again. Bulldogs down by 17. They got to start taking some shots. Like this one here down the right side, but it's intercepted. McLawler never went up for the football. And Memphis is going to get out of here with a 17-point win. That could have been worse. Could have been much worse. I think we're going to say that a lot here for the first couple of seasons. So Memphis makes the short trip to Lebanon and wins the in-state matchup 24-7. Jarvis goes 11 for 18, 110 yards. That last pick on me, got to take a shot there. Brendan Lewis, 267 yards, the 2 touchdowns. For us running the ball, this has got to be better. For a team that's a predominantly option running team, this has got to be better. Teague, clearly our best running back. And we really hope we can keep him for another year. I think I was calling him Freeman, Foreman. He might be around for one more year, but 3 catches, 52 yards. But the record books will show that Keontae Tyson had the first touchdown back for the Cumberland Bulldogs at the Division I level. Let's check on our recruiting real quick. I feel like with Team Builder, the game takes a lot longer to load. But let's just see here. We've been given points to Frederick Smith, the outside linebacker, because Georgia Southern has gone after him heavily. But again, we only have 250 points, so we're trying to spread the love. Kevin Burks has jumped ahead here. We've moved ahead of Eastern Michigan, so that's a nice positive. Playing time for a lot of the guys, and I don't know why Flaherty has a D right now in that. I assume anybody we bring in probably is going to have a good chance to play right away. Thomas Magnum, 25 points on him. We'll see if Southern Miss and Marshall continue to climb up. Luis DeChico, or Chico. Gonna have to work on some of these. I did not do myself any favors with some of the names. Gideon Debaware, a quarterback that we could possibly be bringing in, a peer runner from Aurora, Illinois. Or Athaya Okayanonu. That's what I'm going with, and I'm sticking with it. I'm just ahead on that one. Georgia Southern going to take Sam Norden from us, it looks like. But whatever guys we drop, obviously we'll try to save a few spots for transfers here at the end of this first season. And those will definitely be guys that are asking for playing time right away. We should be able to get a couple, but no surprise, 0-2 here to start. And let's see the recruiting update. And, you know, top 2 with a lot of guys. First for a lot of guys as they're jumping. Not sure we're going to be able to hard sell a lot of guys, though. We're just going to have to hope that they ignore everything about the school they're saying they're going to. And we get a second player of the week, Jarian Love. 7 tackles, 3 in the backfield. And Javion Foreman, again, there's no way Notre Dame played this week then. And now we go to Tulane, and I'm curious to see how the overall simulation is going to treat us if we just sim ahead without playing the moments. For Flaherty, Eastern Michigan's still ahead of us. Smith, we're heading to the top 3 quickly. I don't even know if it's going to be worth it to ask guys to visit. Even though he's only 15 points, it's not terrible. But I don't know if we need to really change much right now. Just kind of let it play out with what it's doing for the recruiting. Our test right now for Cumberland College football is we'll put a piece of glass under your nose, and if it fogs up, hey, you can probably play for us. Tulane did not make them an official rival. Certainly could have. They played a lot against Cumberland when Cumberland still had a program at the start of the 20th century. So the Green Wave gets to host us here, and we'll just sim ahead. And I want to see how bad the computer says it's going to beat us. And we lose out on our first recruit, Dennis McCardell. Decides, you know what? There are greener pastures than Lebanon, Tennessee. Shame on the 4 schools below us in this ranking for the championship contender. Brand exposure, baby. Hey, we scored points. It's big branding for us. And Jaden Bowie gets Defensive Player of the Week. And now we get a matchup with the team that Pop Warner led to the national championship. Ended the reign of John Heisman back in 1918. And the Pitt Panthers went on to win the national title that year. What was I looking for? Team schedule, yes. How bad was it? 39-8. Again, could be worse. And let's see the box score. 61 yards for Jarvis this time, 1 interception. He went just 3 for 12 passing. That's not great. But he did run for 108 yards and a touchdown, so that's terrific. That's what we want to see out of our mobile offense. Tyson, we're very adamant about getting him the football. 17 carries, 14 yards. By God, he's getting the football. We don't care how little yardage he's gaining. Again, Teague is our best running back. Maybe I should just switch him to the lead role because that seems to be what's happening every game. So let me change that. Yeah, everything's just slower here with the team builder teams. Hopefully they fix that moving forward. Oh, Teague is our top running back. Okay, so he should just be getting the ball more. Probably would have to do the formation sub and put him as the flanker on that, but that feels like too much effort, to be honest. Have any of our guys done enough to get any upgrades? Probably not. Maybe our kicker. Nope. I don't think anybody's gotten any points. Yeah, nobody's gotten anything yet. We have not completed any goals to earn any upgrade points. And looking ahead at the schedule. Again, we got Pitt here. I kind of do want to just play that game out, at least with the moments here. So we'll call it a first episode. Just over 90 minutes. Rebuilding the worst team, or the team with the worst loss in college football history, the Cumberland Bulldogs, and we're off to an 0-3 start. Just kind of want to power through this rebuild over the next few days and have this done before college football 27 stuff really starts rolling. One more thing we can do. We did lose one of our guys that we were looking at, so we can add points to somebody. Yeah, McCardell's locked us out, so we can just take him off the board. And that's what I was afraid of, that some of our guys were going to start saying, nope, program's too bad. Secret was kept for at least the first few weeks, but now it's starting to get out that we're not a very good football program. Still have a lot of guys interested for that flash a moment. You can see a lot of green there. Nope. Stop going to the prospect list. Getting tremendous load times here. So, yeah, we've got some options, but a lot of them are 1-stars. I don't want to bring 1-stars in if I don't have to. Steve Turbin here from Eufaula, Alabama. 79 speed, 77 throw power. His accuracies are not great, but he can throw on the run pretty well. And, hey, proximity to home. That's about the one thing we can sell to him. So why don't we give him 25 points. We probably should throw the full 50 at him, so let me go find 25 that I can pull. I think Smith is ahead enough. He's close to committing. I don't want to risk that. We could take the 25 away from Magnum. Uh-oh. These guys are really starting to figure out how bad. No, we could take it away from him. He's got a good lead, so let's go ahead and do that. And we'll give the full 50 points to Turbin. So when we get back to it, we will likely get our first commit here to Cumberland in our new program. Again, we're taking anybody we can get. We will go up to Pittsburgh. It's not Heinz Field anymore. I forget what the new name is. It's a cool stadium, but it's always Heinz Field to me. Thank you to anybody that watched along, whether live or if you're watching the replay here on YouTube. I do stream live on Twitch. Same name, Steve Nash's cousin. Thanks for watching, and hope you tune in for the next episode.